Hello, hi. Hope you all are preparing well. Hello, I know because I know tomorrow you are going to have one offline test also. So prepare well. Okay, work hard because it's time and we have to start working hard now. Hello, because our seat is waiting for us. The dream that we saw together, correct? That seat is waiting for us and we are going to get it no matter what. We are going to get it. Don't worry, okay? And yes, we are not going to do any kind of compromise. We are not going to settle for anything lesser than our abilities. We are working hard and we will get it. Okay? So, okay, chalo. I think yesterday we finished with the major connectors, minor connectors, every part of the RPD, and complete denture is the completely done. Correct. So we will start now with the direct retainer. And I know it's very volatile because it's a confusing chapter that because we have so many n number of class, right? So, but from the point of view of the MCQ, very few are important and we will do point to point, okay? What is important and what is not important. So don't worry, we will start with the direct retainers. Okay. Basically, retention of removable partial denture, okay, that is unique concern when compared with other prostheses. When dealing with the crown of the fixed partial denture, the use of the preparational geometry and a luting agent, hello, combines to retain a prosthesis. But in case of removable partial denture, mechanical retention, okay, listen, mechanical retention is achieved by means of direct retainer by frictional means, by engaging a depression in the abutment tooth or by engaging a tooth undercut lying cervically to its height of the contour. Correct? So, basically, now what is direct retainer? Direct retainer is nothing but that component of a partial removable dental prosthesis which is used to retain and prevent the dislodgement consisting of clasp assembly or the precision attachment. We'll take up what is precision and semi-precision. These days, it's very common word, henna, and we don't know what is precision and what is semi-precision attachment. We'll do this in the GEMS Plus group. Don't worry. Okay. So next, after the definition of the direct retainer comes classification. And this classification is very important. Okay. This classification is very important. We have intracoronal and extracoronal direct retainers. In intracoronal, we have two precision attachments and semi-precision attachments, correct? And extracoronal, we have retentive clasp assemblies that can be suprabulge and infrabulge and attachments, okay? Basically, intracoronal retainers, these are the internal attachments, that is the precision attachments, okay? Basically, it is nothing but an interlocking device, one component of which is integrated into the removable prosthesis. Samjha? Matlab, one component is integrated into the removable prosthesis to stabilize or to retain it. Okay. And this principle was formulated by Dr. Herman. Okay. Dr. Herman. And it resides basically within the normal contour of an abutment and function to retain and stabilize a RPD. Samjha? Intracoronal retainer is nothing but an interlocking device, one component of which is integrated into the removable prosthesis to stabilize or to retain it. Correct? And yes, there are many advantages and disadvantages also. That is not important from the point of view of the MCQ. We will take up later. And yeah, limitations also. Next, we have extracoronal direct retainer class. Okay, what is this? Basically, extracoronal direct retainer class, it is nothing but it consists of components that reside entirely outside the normal clinical contour of the abutment. Okay, they serve to retain and stabilize RPD. Okay, and two distinct categories are there: extracoronal attachments and retentive clasp assembly only. And extracoronal attachment, it was first introduced by Henry R. Booth. Okay, but this is not important who gave this. And it was modified by the Roche. Okay. And Next is something very important, that is the Prothero's advanced cone theory. Okay, in 1916, Prothero's advanced cone theory was introduced. Okay, and this is the basis of the class retention. Okay, and there is two cones, correct? Shape of the crowns of premolar and molar teeth can be considered as two cones, and these are sharing a common base, correct? The line formed at the junction of these cones represents the greatest diameter of the tooth. Samjha? The line which is formed at the junction of these cones. They can ask you in the MCQ form, the line formed at the junction, because this is new concept. I think in the Pulse or the Dentist this is not there. So Prothero's advanced cone theory, and the line that is formed at the junction of these cones represent nothing but the greatest diameter of the tooth. Okay? Okay. Chalo. We will have something who gave the term height of the contour. Height of the contour was given by Kennedy, and guideline was given by Kumar. Okay, and Devan gave it as suprabulge and infrabulge regions. Now what is suprabulge and infrabulge? Don't worry, will do. Next is types of the class. We have already done there the direct retainers, and there you saw types of the class. Now types of the class, we have circumferential, that is the suprabulge or the acres class, and next is the bar class or the infrabulge class. Okay, circumferential, suprabulge or acres class, these means they are the synonyms for each other, and has two class palms that encircle the abutment tooth. Class approaches the undercut from above the height of the contour. That's why it is suprabulge. Okay, and bar class or infrabulge class, this is having an approach arm ending up in two class palms. Okay, one placed above and the other placed below the height of the contour. Class approaches the undercut below the height of contour. That's why this is infrabulge. Okay, and next after this we have component parts of a class. This is important, very important. We have rest, we have body, shoulder, retentive class palm, reciprocal arm, minor connector and approach arm. First we will take up rest. What is rest? Rest is nothing but the part of the clasp assembly that lies on the occlusal or the lingual or the incisal edge or surfaces of the tooth. Okay, part of the clasp assembly that lies on the occlusal or lingual or incisal edge or surface of the teeth. It resists the tissue word movement of the clasp, and it transmits the functional forces along the long axis of the tooth. This is the rest. Okay, and next we have body. Body, this is the part of the clasp that connects the rest and shoulders of the clasp of the minor connector. What does a body do? This is the part of the clasp that connects the rest and the shoulders of the clasp of the minor connector. And it is rigid. Samjha, it is very rigid and it lies above the height of the contour. Always. Body, it lies above the part of the contour. It contacts the guide plane. Now what is guide plane? We will do. It contacts the guide plane of the abutment during the insertion and the removal. Guide plane is nothing but the path. Correct? So this is about the body. This is the part of the clasp that connects the rest and shoulder of the clasp of the minor connector. This is about the body. Next we have shoulder. Okay. Next we have shoulder. Shoulder, I think I forgot to put the image. No worries, we will take up the shoulder. Shoulder is nothing but the part of the clasp that connects the body to the clasp terminal, and it lies above the height of the contour. Okay, part of the clasp that connects the body of the clasp terminal, that is the shoulder, and it lies above the height of the contour. Then we have something retentive clasp. Okay, according to GPT, retentive clasp is a flexible segment of a removable partial denture which engages an undercut on an abutment which is designed to retain the denture. This is about the retentive clasp. And we have terminal third, that is the retentive terminal, or middle third, or proximal third. It is not important. This definition is important for the retentive class. Basically, what is retentive class? Listen now. I know till now it's clear, correct? Retentive class. It is a flexible segment of a removable partial denture which engages a undercut on an abutment. समझा? इसी से तो retention आएगा. That's why it is a retentive class that engages an undercut on an abutment which is designed to retain the denture. That is about the retentive class. And we have terminal third, middle third, and proximal third. Can you see there in the diagram we have terminal third, middle third, and the proximal third. Terminal third, it is the flexible and should point towards the occlusal surface. It should point towards the occlusal surface. Okay, and it is the only component to lie cervical to the height of the contour to provide direct retention. Can you see from the diagram? It is the only component to lie cervical to the height of the contour to provide the direct retention. Then next we have middle third. It provides the limited flexibility, okay, placed above the height of the contour. Next we have proximal third. This is rigid, correct, and placed above the height of the contour. So basically you should know something about the terminal third, that it is the only component to lie cervical to the height of the contour to provide direct retention. Done? Okay. Next we have reciprocal arm. Reciprocal arm, I know retentive arm is clear now, retentive class. Now reciprocal arm. Listen carefully. It is rigid and it is placed above the height of the contour. Okay? It is not tapered like retentive class. It is not tapered like retentive class. It is designed to contact the tooth before the retainer class does. Samjha? Matlab, it is designed to contact the tooth before the retainer clasp does and to remain in contact while the retentive terminal passes the height of the contour. Basically, it's clear. It is designed to contact the tooth before the retainer clasp. Bus. Before the retainer clasp does, it is designed, that's why, to contact the tooth. Okay, and to retain in contact while the retentive terminal passes the height of the contour. And basically it helps in stabilization and reciprocation against the retentive arm. That's why it is named as reciprocal arm. Okay, and it resists the tipping force generated by the retentive terminal, because it passes over the height of the contour when the partial denture is inserted. So it resists the tipping force, and it can act as indirect retainer if it is placed on the opposite side of the fulcrum. If you are placing it opposite side of the fulcrum, then it can act as indirect retainer. Done? Okay. Next we have minor connector. Minor connector, yesterday only the class was taken. It is the part of the class that joins the body to the remaining part of the framework. This is about the minor connector. Next we have something about approach arm. It projects from the framework, runs along the mucosa, turns to cross-gingival margin of the abutment tooth. Body and retentive terminal attached to it, and it is slightly flexible. It is slightly flexible. Okay. And after component parts of the class, we have something requirement of the class. You can read about this: retention, support, stability, reciprocation, encirclement, and the passivity. Retention, support, and stability we have already discussed, and even the direction, horizontal, vertical, and direction opposite, that we have already discussed in the Gems Plus group. Okay, yeah, I want you to know something about the flexibility. Flexibility, that is amount of the retention. Amount of the retention, it depends on the flexibility of the clasp arm, the depth of the retentive terminal extending into the undercut, and the amount of the clasp arm that extends below the height of the contour. This is the amount of retention that depends on. That is flexibility of the clasp arm, the depth of the retentive terminal extending into the undercut, and the amount of clasp arm that extends below the height of the contour. And basically flexibility depends on length of the clasp arm. Okay, diameter of the clasp arm and the cross-sectional form of the clasp, and curvature, and also the curvature of the material arm. And yeah, something very important from the point of view of the MCQ is the materials used are like cast chrome, cast gold and wrought alloy. And we should know the dimension. Like for the cast chrome, it is 0.010 inch. 0.010 inch. And for the cast gold, it is 0.015 inch. And for the wrought alloy, it is 0.020 inch. This is very, very important, very important. Okay. And support we have already done, stability also done. Now what is reciprocation? Reciprocation is nothing but the quality of the clasp assembly that counteracts the lateral displacement of an abutment when the retentive clasp terminal passes over the height of the contour. That is reciprocation. Reciprocation is the quality of the clasp assembly that counteracts lateral displacement of an abutment when the retentive clasp terminal passes over the height of the contour. And it must be rigid. Okay? And it should be placed above the height of the contour, preferably most commonly at the junction of the middle and the gingival third. Correct? And if the height of the contour lies in the occlusal third of the tooth, either the tooth has to be reshaped or a lingual plate is more effective. If the height of the contour lies in the occlusal third, samjha, then the tooth has to be reshaped. That is about the reciprocation. Next is encirclement. Okay, encirclement, it is the characteristic of the clasp assembly. It is the characteristic of the clasp assembly that prevents movement of the abutment away from the associated clasp assembly. Basically, MCQ, what they can do? They can give you one definition and they can ask you, what is this, what is that, what is that? For the reciprocation also, they can give you the definition. For retention, support and stability, they have given n number of times the definition and they ask you, what is this? So, reciprocation also learn that it is the quality of the clasp assembly that counteracts the lateral displacement. Lateral displacement is the key word there. And for encirclement, learn that it is the characteristic of the clasp assembly that prevents movement of the abutment away from the associated clasp assembly. That is about the encirclement. Okay. And clasp must encircle 180 degree or half of the circumference of the tooth. Samjha? Next comes the passivity. Now I think it's clear now, reciprocation and encirclement. Once again, I am explaining. Reciprocation, it is the quality of the clasp assembly that counteracts lateral displacement of an abutment when the retentive clasp terminal passes over the height of the contour. And encirclement, it prevents movement of the abutment away from the associated clasp assembly. Okay. Next, we have passivity. Passivity, it is a clasp in place should be completely passive. I hope in the final year when you were doing some ortho work or like clasp assembly, then our teachers used to ask, no, what is passive, what is active? Okay, passive. Clasp in the place should be completely passive. Means the retentive function is activated only when the dislodging force are applied to the partial denture. Okay, and a clasp, it should be passive. Means easy to remove. But it should not fall also. Correct? Okay. Next, we have something about the circumferential clasp, suprabulge clasp or the Mcqs clasp. It was first introduced by Nesbitt. Okay? It was first introduced by the Nesbitt, but the synonyms for the circumferential clasp are Mcqs, circlate and suprabulge clasp. Retentive tip approaches the undercut from above the height of the contour and the true adjustment is difficult with most of the cast clasp. Okay. We have advantages and disadvantages, no need of going in the depth. Next, we have so many clasps. Simple circlate clasp, reverse circlate clasp, multiple circlate clasp, embrasure clasp, spring clasp, combination clasp and back action clasp. Basically, simple circlate clasp, it is the most versatile and it is widely used. Okay, the basic key point that you should know is the mesial undercut. Mostly it engages the mesial undercut. It engages the undercut located away from the edentulous space. Two important points I told you. Mostly mesial undercut, and the second point, it engages the undercut located away from the edentulous space. And third very important point is it is best for the tooth supported partial denture. Okay, tooth supported partial denture. And this clasp can be adjusted only in one direction, that is buccolingually. Okay, not occlusal gingivally, only in one direction. And it cannot be used for the distal extension cases because it engages the mesiobuccal undercut. Got it? Now repeat again. Repeat. Mesial undercut, mesiobuccal undercut, only one direction, that is the buccolingually, not occlusal gingivally. And it cannot be used for the distal extension cases because they engages only mesiobuccal undercut. And this is best for the tooth supported partial denture, and it engages the undercut located away from the edentulous space. Done. This is about the simple circular class. We will see the images in the GEMS Plus group. Don't worry about the images. Okay, don't worry about the pictures, diagrams. We will do it. Next, we have reverse circlet or the reverse approach class. Okay, this is just opposite of simple circular class. Okay. Basically, simple circular class is for the mesial undercut. Reverse circulate or the reverse approach class is for the distal undercut. Okay, and it engages the distal undercut on the abutment tooth located adjacent to the edentulous space. Okay, and most preferred for the distal extension cases. Simple circulate class cannot be used for the distal extension cases, and reverse circulate or the reverse approach arm is most commonly used for the distal extension cases. Okay, and these clasps, basically reverse circulate, are used when a bar clasp is contraindicated. Samjha? Matlab ki if there is an undercut area in the ridge, presence of a soft tissue undercut caused by the bucco version of the abutment tooth, that cases you can use this. Okay. Next is the multiple circulate clasp. It is simply two opposing circumferential clasps joined at the terminal end with two minor connectors and joined by their two reciprocal arms. Multiple circulate clasp. Okay, two opposing circumferential clasps are joined at the terminal end. So this is multiple circulate clasp, and it is used when additional retention is needed. Samjha? When you need additional retention, then you can use multiple circulate clasp because there are two circumferential clasps you are joining at the terminal end. This is why you can use multiple circulate clasp when when you need more additional retention. Okay, and it is indicated in periodontally compromised abutments. Multiple circulate clasp. Done. Next, you have embrasure clasp or the modified grip clasp. Two simple circular clasps joined at their bodies in embrasure clasp or the modified grip clasp. And embrasure clasp, it is used on the side of the arch where no edentulous space is present. Okay. And next very important point is embrasure clasp exhibit high percentage of fracture due to inadequate tooth preparation in the contact area. Which clasp exhibit high percentage of fracture? Embrasure clasp. Which clasp you can use when the patient is periodontally compromised abutment. You have periodontally compromised abutment in the patient. Then you can use multiple circular clasp. Simple circular clasp can be used in the distal extension? No, because it engages mesiobuccal undercut. Reverse circulate or the reverse approach clasp can be used in distal extension. Done? 4 clasps are done. Okay. Then we have ring clasp. Ring clasp, it is indicated in tilted molars. Very, very important. Where can you use ring clasp? Tilted molars. Okay. And even in the distal edentulous condition with a distal lingual undercut where a reverse clasp cannot be placed. Okay. Where you cannot place reverse circulate clasp, you can give ring clasp. in the distal edentulous condition, okay, distal lingual undercut, and where there is no buccal undercut, okay, then you can use ring clasp. Next we have combination clasp. Combination clasp consists of an occlusal rest, a cast metal reciprocal arm, and a wrought wire retentive arm. Okay, and it is indicated on an abutment tooth adjacent to a distal extension base or on particularly weak abutments. There you can use combination clasp. Next is back action clasp. It is nothing but the modification of the ring clasp. Okay, it is the modification of the ring clasp. And yes, there are so many clasps, but for now just know simple circlet clasp, reverse circlet clasp, multiple circlet clasp, embrasure clasp. These are important. Okay, this where you can which clasp you can use and the distal extension which you cannot use. Even fish hook clasp or hairpin reverse action clasp, that is also important. Fish hook clasp, it is used in the condition where the undercut is near the edentulous space. Okay, presence of a soft tissue undercut basically. We will see the images in the James Plus group. So basically know something about all these things. Okay, in the not in the detail, it is not required for you. Okay, but yeah, we should know. Okay. Next is RPA concept, and RLS concept. So RPA concept, it is Kroll. Kroll introduced it. It consists of mesial rest, RPI, R for rest, P for proximal plate, and I for I bar. Mesial rest, proximal plate, and I bar. Mesial rest extends only in the triangular fossa, even in molar preparation, circular concave depression on a mesial marginal ridge of the canine. The proximal plate contacts only 1 mm of guide plane, which is only 2 to 3 mm high occlusogingivally. I am repeating again. The proximal plate contacts only 1 mm of the guide plane, which is only 2 to 3 mm high occlusogingivally. Okay, and I bar terminus, it is a pod shape to allow more tooth contact. Okay, this is RPI concept. Next you have RPA. RPA is nothing but the modification of the RPI system. Okay, it is just similar to the RPI, but instead of I bar, acres or the circumferential clasp retentive arm is fabricated. That is the RPA. Okay, advantage is easier to grasp for the removal of the prosthesis. It can be used in case of large tissue undercut and so on. Okay. Next is something very new, that is the RLS system, and it is introduced by Aviv L et al. Okay, it consists of mesio-occlusal rest, distolingual L bar. It is the direct connector located adjacent to the edentulous ridge, and distobuccal stabilizer. Disengages from the tooth as denture base moves tissue-wards. And yes, after RPI, RPA, and RLS system, you should know something about the circumferential clasp and the bar clasp difference. Basically, I will tell you only one important point, that is the retention. Okay, in circumferential clasp, you have the retention that is pull type, and in bar clasp, you have the retention called push type. Very, very important MCQ. Okay, and gingival health is better in circumferential clasp, it is poor in the bar clasp. Okay. And yeah, aesthetics bar clasp excellent. Okay, and circumferential clasp it is poor, and tolerance it is good in the circumferential clasp, it is poor in the bar clasp. Done. And yes, next please come back to the GEMS Plus group, and we will have few images, diagrams, discussion, and yes, indirect retainers too we have to take up. So we will take up and we will do MCQs related to the direct retainer so that we can imbibe it properly. Done? Okay, chalo, come back. Bye-bye.